Community helpers. Essential question. Who are the helpers in the community? Standard. Children and adults have rights and responsibilities at home, at school, in the classroom, and in the community. With guidance and support, identify details in familiar stories. With guidance and support, identify characters and settings in familiar stories. The characters could be the people in the community. The settings could be where the people in the community work. What is a community helper? Community helpers are people who live and work in our communities. They do many different things to help us every day. They provide us with goods, products we use, and services, things they do for us. This would be a beginning discussion point for the students. Further discussion points, you could ask students, what do they know about the people who work and help in the community? After some discussion, you could define it as the people who work and live in the community. You could explain they do many different things for us, such as goods and services, the products, and things they do for us. Community helpers can be broken down into several units, such as the neighborhood community helpers, garbage collectors, mail carriers, news reporters. Safety community helpers, lifeguard, military, firefighters, police, builders and fixers, painters, mechanics, construction workers, carpenters, plumbers. Transportation community helpers, pilot, train conductor, bus driver, astronaut, and flight attendant. Additionally, food community helpers such as a gardener, chef, a farmer or baker. In our school community, a coach, teacher, crossing guard, librarian or janitor. And health community helpers, dentist, veterinarian, nurse, and doctor. Some resources include youtube.com, would sort by community helpers, and you would come up with a series of videos, and you would select based on the needs of your learner. You have some Sesame Street videos for earlier learners, and more complex. Who am I? Community helpers with riddles for kids to see if they could figure out who the community helper is based on the clues. GetEpic.com has virtual books. You would sort by community helpers, and over 80 books come up. So here you would do a little bit more searching and looking based on exactly what you were looking to present. Since there are several categories of community helpers, potentially you could focus on teachers one particular day, doctors, librarians, or you could also find a general book that talks about all community helpers. Or you could talk about a trip around the town and things that they see in their town. Other resources, teacherspayteachers.com. Go there, search for community helpers, sort by ascending order to receive the free items first. Here, we have a sorting activity. Here, we have a flip book. Students can have their face there, and the book would flip to change to the different community helpers. Boomlearning.com also has community helper resources in which the students would go to boomlearning.com and they would select based on the clue. Click the correct answer. LiveWorksheet.com also has community helper resources. You would search by community helper, and a series of resources would come up, from items that use board maker symbols, drawing lines, or a puzzle. Which community helper am I? So students would drag the puzzle pieces to complete the puzzle. Once they're done, they'll press finish. An option to email the answers to the teacher or check my answers will come up. Let's check our answers. 10 out of 10. Students can also create arts and crafts. Here they have a paper bag, and there are printables that students can color. You can cut out pieces of construction paper, and students can decorate to create the different workers in their community. Students can take a paper plate, trace their hand, and create a hand and write the different community helpers that are in their neighborhood. Students can also have a sensory experience with community helpers. Here we have sand and different trucks to represent our construction workers in the community. You could also have dramatic play with items that students can have the opportunity to try on and move. Here we have a construction hat, a stethoscope, and worker gloves. You could also have community helpers across different subject areas, such as math. Here's an activity where the students place the clouds or water on top of fire, and here they would count. In addition, here we're talking about the school bus drivers. We count the number of buses, 1, 2, and the students would place the pin on the number 2. In ELA, students would take the card and stamp the uppercase letter on their recording sheet. And if our students are still working on writing, again, they could use stampers, or they could use a sensory bag. There's some red and yellow paint, which makes a fiery color. And here you can give them a card and some letters, and students would trace on the back to make the letter. In conclusion, community helpers provide us with goods, products we use, and services, things they do for us. YouTube, Epic Books, Teacher Pay Teacher, and Boom Learning all have school community resources. And community helpers as a theme can be embedded in math and ELA activities.